Okay, there we are. I love that. I love watching that. Thanks for coming, everybody. um, do. So, I got a sad face because I'm alone, but I get to fly down and meet Allison on Wednesday. So she figured this was the best way. This was her idea to. I don't need this. This was her idea to get be able to still have a live, still be able to talk to everybody here, and to actually answer a lot of questions. So I've seen one or two questions go by already, but before we do that, I wanted to cover a few things that I already said. Okay, let me maximize that. There we go. So a couple of things that as I referred to as we were going along. So Friday was the one of them was Wi-Fi calling. Saturday, I think was Wi-Fi calling. Friday, I don't remember. And today, I did the safe computing. So let me look here real quick, so I'm not being too far off. Okay. I appreciate the questions. I appreciate everybody being here. So let's go here. And let's go here. Okay. And OneNote. Okay. Now I'm back where I was. I'm sorry. I'm a little off my game because she's not here, but I appreciate everybody, all of you being here to support me. So a couple of things that I want to comment on everybody who commented and talked about their own solutions. Wonderful. Excuse me. Wonderful alternatives. Yeah, I completely forgot about Skype. That's an old standby from quite a while now. So that's a good one. The main things being that if you can use it on Wi-Fi at home, then you can use it on Wi-Fi on the ship. So I would definitely recommend have an alternative, even if you've got an international plan, even if you have maybe another SIM that you're going to swap out. We did that years ago when that was much easier, was to have a different SIM card that we yanked out of our phone and put in one when we got to this was a trip to Paris. And we went to a tobacco shop and we bought a SIM card, put it in the phone. We actually had 4 of us traveling, and so 2 of us had it in the phones and 2 of us had it in had the normal ones. And so we were able to call back and forth between the 2 phones, which worked out really well. And so the problem was when we returned home, and they set it up for us quite well. The problem was when we got home and then we tried to put our old SIM cards back in, I didn't know exactly the settings. I had to talk to a few people and Google it, but I finally found there was just one little click mark I had to make, and we had our other SIM cards back, so it worked out just fine. So that was a good thing at that time. Of course, you get a different phone number when you do that. Having Ring Central, having Vonage, those are all phone numbers that our family is already well aware of, and it works out really good for me because, like I said, one time I was on the beach in the Bahamas and someone called me from work and I talked for 5 or 10 minutes and they said, "Are you in the office?" And I said, "No." And luckily they didn't ask me where I was. So that definitely was something that was an advantage. But yeah, same thing. If you got Teams, if you got Skype, you can do those. But back to what I was trying to say, test it at home, test it at home, test it at home. That is the only way you're going to be certain that it's going to work when you're not home. So download an app, or if your phone allows Wi-Fi calling, turn on just Wi-Fi calling, put it into airplane mode, and give it a shot. And call someone else, call your home, call your work, call your friends, call your wife, your spouse, but just test it out. So that way, when you are traveling and you say, oh, and maybe you don't plan to make any phone calls, but then when you do, you have that ability and you've already tested it out. It's an easy thing to test. So definitely I'd highly recommend that. So OneNote, someone asked, before I get to these questions, someone asked how to print. And so let me see if I've got OneNote on this computer. Yes, I do, because this is where I recorded that. So let me pull that up and I can share a screen real quick. Basically, what I have done when I've printed for OneNote is, yeah, my list may go on and on and on for a little bit, but I think it's like 4 or 5 pages, but then I print them all out and I take them with me. So let me share my screen here real quick. Go here. Yes, I understand. Let's go to a window. Let's go to OneNote, and I'm going to share this. So here you see, okay, that's working. All right, so here you see OneNote. And as I go up and down, you can see what I've got. This is for our upcoming group cruise. Okay, let me pull one up that we've already done. That way, if more information gets up there that we don't want to let you have, it's okay. So I think one of the more extensive ones was this Mediterranean cruise we took about 4 years ago. Lots of information there. And you notice right about here on the side, there's this drag thing. There's a very, very, very faint line going up and down right here. That gives me the width. And so if I go up here to, let's see, I can print home. Nope, insert, draw, view, draw, insert. I don't know if I can print from the Mac one. I do it all the time on my Windows. And the thing I like is I can, oh, you know what? I don't have a printer on this machine. But what I have found is that when I print, it works out just beautifully because it will match it to the page width. And yeah, like I said, there may be 4, 5, or 6 pages, but then I'm able to have those. I staple them together. The highlighting is still there. And then I can write on it as well. So I would definitely suggest that you go ahead and print that out. So, all right. Man, I apologize. Our cherry tree is in full blossom right now. And so I know the apple tree is, and probably 2 apple trees. And so there's a lot out there. So yes, Down Under Cruisers, you were first. So good day. Sarah Louise, welcome. Mig, Marty, happy to have you here. From Vancouver, Hivioje Protenzina. Hope that's right. We're so happy you're here. Ontario girl, Steve, Debbie, Poppy, Matt, Susan, Holly and Craig, both. And yeah, Steve, I love that video. You noticed I was kind of dancing along with it as we came in. Bruce, how you doing? Happy to have you here. And Tom Barton, well, welcome. Are you still on the ship? Everybody for the Tom Barton fan club, so happy that that Tom is here. Susan has a question. While on Wi-Fi only on a cruise ship, can you still message people and send pictures? That depends. Okay. iPhone uses it uses Wi-Fi for messages to other iPhones. But if you are messaging from your iPhone to another phone, or if you have, say, an Android or another type of phone, no, because that uses SMS. SMS texting is a cellular-based service. So texting Wi-Fi only on SMS texting is not possible. However, my Real Central app that I get from work, it allows texting to that number. And so if you do have a Wi-Fi app and it allows texting, Facebook Messenger still will work. WhatsApp may work. A lot of these may still work. So I would say go ahead and give it a try. But again, the firm answer of can you use SMS texting, which is the standard texting? No, that will not work on Wi-Fi only. It is a cellular-based service. Chica, hello. Trisha Kisno says hi too. D. Adams, thank you. Thanks, Bruce. I got this. I have done, I think this may be my third solo. So, no, I guess I've done some sailaways. So, thanks. And Allison's done them solo too. So she does a fine job. She is just enjoying being grandma right now. Spent the entire weekend. I felt bad that I couldn't drive down with her, but I've hired 2 new employees at work, and so I had to do onboarding with the one Friday and today, and the other one tomorrow, and so so that's pretty much where I'm at. But I'll be able to get down there. Safe travels on Wednesday. Thanks, Jeffrey. Code 4 for life on the Eurodam in Juneau. Wonderful. Yes, just checking in. Catch you all next week. Okay. We are going to be on the Eurodam in a month. And so we are excited for that. Take good care of the ship for us. Senior Sea Dog question: how's the availability of public Wi-Fi in Rome? I seem to recall that it was available, well, definitely at our hotel. We did not have any issues. Again, we stay usually, okay, Tom Barton says he's home. Okay. We have stayed at the Best Western across from the Termini on this last trip, where we did not go to Rome. We were on the trains in Austria and Germany for the river cruise. But also I've seen this in Rome. A lot of the cafes will have Wi-Fi. I don't know if the city specifically has Wi-Fi available in any place. But again, a lot of the cafes do, definitely McDonald's. The train station, on the trains, Wi-Fi was available. I wouldn't say it was the best. A lot of your tour buses will have it. Occasionally, city buses will. We were on the hop-on, hop-off bus in Salzburg, which, again, this isn't Rome, but I assume it may be as well for there. And so those have cellular. I'm sorry, they have Wi-Fi. My cellular plan that I have from my work, because it's a business, they only charge a couple of dollars a day for the cellular and the text on top of the normal stuff, but all data is free. So you might want to check with your business if you are still employed. For those of you that are retired, see what your plan does. That sometimes the data is included, or maybe over and above the with just maybe a $10 fee or something for the international plan. One thing that I also didn't bring up would be the fact that sometimes you can buy a burner phone in your destination, and that will give you cellular where you're at, maybe cheaper. Again, it's not the same phone number, and those are only for when you're on shore. But that's also a different possibility. We had one time when our daughter spent a semester in Paris, we bought her a phone that was specifically for international, and she used that to keep in contact with us. And that was back 14, 15 years ago. So, but again, check on your plans. And again, buying one, if you're there for a long time, might be good. So there's the question. So I think that availability of public Wi-Fi in Rome is consistent with what you'll find in most major cities, cafes, other locations that you are frequenting, or if you're buying, if you're, like I said, if you're a cafe or a gelato, restaurants maybe. So I think you'll be okay. Michelle, hello, and everyone from Pennsylvania. Tom Brooks, Friday was OneNote. Yes, thank you. I finally remembered. Betty, on the Crown Princess, chilly and windy San Francisco. And I'm glad you have some decent Wi-Fi on the trip. So, Meg, glad you're here. Kathy Warren, 16,000 subscribers. Yes, we did it this weekend. We popped over 16,000. We are on our way to 100,000, and we're not stopping. Thank you to all of you. That is why we are not stopping, because we love to bring you these videos. Allison and I talk about you guys. We talk about how wonderful everybody is and what fun we're having. You know, we get to go on this group cruise coming up in a month, and we're so excited to meet some of you. We get to just it's so much fun. This is what keeps us going. So, question: do you know what Princess's timeline is for Starlink? We don't know the timeline. I think it was announced for one ship, or if not the fleet. But yes, we have tried Starlink on another line. We were on the NCL breakaway for the Vloggers cruise in January, and they had Starlink. Yes, it was noticeably faster. So definitely, it was faster. So we enjoyed that. We were able to upload stuff. It's not as fast as, well, I can't say it's not as fast as here at home. Download here at home. I'm on Xfinity Comcast. Download speeds are supposed to be about 250 megabits a second. Upload speeds are supposed to be comparable, but they get to be about 0.5% of that. Let's see, 10% would be 20. No, about, okay, so it gets to be 5%. So that puts it at anywhere from 5 to 10 megabits. Not fast. Again, I work at a university. We are the backbone of the internet. And when I upload a video there, I drag it over. And by the time I get to the next screen, in order to start typing the title or description, it's up. So it's that fast. But I wish I had that at home. Google might be coming into town, so we might look at that for Google Fiber. My neighbors, I'm sorry, I have a coworker who he's in the next town over, and he has fiber, and he's got gigabits, so I'm hoping for that. I apologize again. So yes, Starlink is faster, noticeably. Even with the number of people that were on there that were using it, because again, that was the Vloggers cruise. So we had a lot of people uploading and downloading, and a lot of people that were just watching. So it was definitely put to the test. And I wonder, because I only speculate, but because we had that Vloggers cruise booked for about 1.5 years before, and I wonder if maybe NCL thought that would be a good test. I don't know if they think that way or not. So Yes, Holly's talking about OneNote. Looks like a lot of work to organize initially, but then just copy and paste. And yeah, to get to that point with what you saw versus if you saw some of the other screens that I had where I didn't have as much information, that's my base. If I copy and paste, like I'll highlight the itinerary as it comes from the ships from the like Princess website or something. I'll copy and paste that entire itinerary, and then I will delete some unnecessary things. But that's my base, and then from there, as we go through time, we'll sit down one night and say, "Oh, let's book a couple of excursions." And as I book them, I'll copy and paste, or I'll quickly type a note, and then in my free time, a little bit later, I'll copy and paste the more specific information about it, and then we'll be talking about it again, and we'll say, well, what was that one that we booked, or which one did we look at and not book? And I can quickly turn to that, and there it is, my booking number, our flights. Last night, I had some time, and so I was putting in the flight information for some of our upcoming cruises. So I'm happy that works for you. I hope if that goes through. I know some people love EndNote. A lot of you have talked about your spreadsheets and your spreadsheets in Excel or Google Docs or Google Sheets. It's very same thing, especially in Google Sheets and even in Word, Office 365, which is now online. Those are available from not just on your machine. If you have that subscription service, and even then, OneNote is free. It's free with Mac. It's free on Microsoft's website. So if you just have to have a Microsoft account, but it's free. Google Docs is free. Google Sheets is free, and so you can copy and paste between them. Google may not work as well offline unless you specifically download and offload an offline copy. Same thing with Word and Excel. If you don't bring in an offline copy, you may not have it. OneNote, that's the automatic default. All right. D. Adams, thanks for being here and helping us with all things tech. I was on a Princess cruise and certainly couldn't access my usual places. Yeah, it's tough. It's hard when you keep wanting to do stuff. My computer kept saying the access wasn't a secure one and blocked my access. Is this a computer setting I can change to proceed with my access to my usual sites? I think so. A lot of times when you're browsing to what may be considered by your browser to be an unsecure site, we've all been taught about now that in your address, HTTPS. So HTTP stands for Hypertext Transmission Protocol, which means that the data that's coming from the server that the internet is showing you is hypertext. It's just a bunch of bits. It's a bunch of letters and numbers, and they've been programmed to come up and look pretty. And so all those little bits are coming across. And so by adding the S on it, it makes it a secure connection. So it's encrypted. And so nobody else should be able to tap in. Now, I can talk about a lot of different other deeper safety issues. One of the most common things is what's called a man-in-the-middle attack. And this is what would be considered what might happen at an internet cafe if someone puts up a bogus access point and you happen to log into the bogus one rather than the real one, then your data might be intercepted. I'm not trying to scare people. I'm not trying to say don't do it, but just be cautious. When you go to a cafe, make sure and read what it says their internet connection will be. Don't just, I think this is, I think this is McDonald's, but if it says McD's one, may not be. It should probably say McDonald's all the way across. Or if you're at your hotel, make sure that if you're at a Hilton, that it's the H Honors or Hilton Honors or the Hilton connection. And they, of course, usually require that you log in with your room number and your name. In fact, one way you could test it is by putting in bogus information. That if you are given a password and you try it out with misspelling the password and it doesn't allow you to connect, then it's likely the proper one. If it does allow you to connect with anything without a password, then you may have a problem. You may be under, I wouldn't say you're under attack, but it may be that someone's trying to get there. So a way to do it, and back to your question, is when you're logging to a website and it's not seeming to come up and it says, I can't get there. Usually, sometimes at the bottom, there'll be two choices on the on the connection. And one of them says, hold it, you're trying to go to an unsecure location. And the other one says, oh, but that's all right, I understand what it is. And I get that a lot with my work stuff because we have unsecure websites that we deal with. And so I'll say, no, I'll take the risk and I'll go ahead. So if you see that choice at the bottom where one says, hold it, I really think this is dangerous. And the other one says, no, I know where I'm going. I've done this before. And then it will ask you again. Or in the address line up above, instead of it defaults to HTTPS, take out the S and see if that will allow you to proceed. The other thing to consider, yes, so that's where your browser is trying to protect you by saying, oh, it's not secure, and it blocks the access. But if, and so I don't know if that's just a home computer that you've got, you could try a different browser. Okay, Chrome is our default, but I also keep Firefox and Edge running so that then I'm able to use a different browser and also go in private. Okay, every browser nowadays, the common ones, they have incognito or in private browsing. And so Edge and Chrome, you hit Control-Shift-N, I think. Anyway, or you click on the little dots up here in the corner, and it says New Incognito Window or New in Private Browsing Window. And the main, well, what happens is it has no cookies. It has no cache. That is a fresh window as if you'd never been there. Now, it may retain some of your passwords because you're in the same browser, so that if you go to a website that that requires you to log in, it may remember who you are because the browser knows by looking at the address up there, oh, he's going to Google, this is his Gmail account, I will put in that information for him, but it will require you to put that information in. And so that is a very good way of checking to see, okay, is the browser stopping me? Is my cookies stopping me? Is my cache or those things that the computer has remembered about me, is that stopping me? And so if you go to a private session and then browse to your bank, well, again, I don't recommend you do your bank while you're out of the country, unless you have to. But then I recommend you do it remote, like I talked about in the other video. So back from the sidebar, if you're trying to get your email and it's just kind of choking on you, try a private window. If you go like on the ship and you sit down at one of their computers, or if you go to a hotel or an internet cafe and you use one of their computers, always use a private window. That way, nothing that you type in is recorded on the computer. Now, the routers and the internet service provider, the ISP, yes, what you're doing is tracked all these data bits, they're being kept somewhere, but that local computer, and be sure to please log out. Don't stay logged in. If you're at a library, I've seen this where we had shared computers in a family history library, and you'd sit down and there were 5 people logged in. And if I really wanted to, I could have gone to their email. And what I did is I quickly just logged them all out and cleared their cache. So please use a private window for browsing. It just, Sean's leaving. Sorry. Thanks, Down Under Cruisers. Good to see you. So that is definitely something to keep in mind. Again, to get to it, you click on the thing up above, and it says new incognito window in Chrome. Edge says a new private window. Safari on your Macintosh, I think it's a private window. So definitely something to keep in mind. And that may solve your issue of not being able to get places. So thank you. Robert, hello from Southern California. Hi. Tom Brooks, if you have the Princess Plus, can you be on your phone and laptop at the same time, or do you need to log out and into each device? I don't know the specifics on Princess Plus. Here's what I do know. If that only allows one connection at a time, then yes, you do need to log out and in to each device. I don't know how many connections it will allow. Historically, Princess, you would either have a 1-device connection or a 4-device connection. And we did the 4-device once and realized that was overkill, because then we each had one phone, we each had one laptop. And yes, it was nice not to have to log out, but we didn't feel like it was worth the money, especially because of the slowness of the connection. So if it is for one device, then you may need to log out of one and into the other. The ships have gotten better. The Princess, the Medallion Net, which is the wireless, that's the Wi-Fi that's on Princess, has gotten better about allowing you to connect and disconnect. When we were on NCL, and when we were on Celebrity, and when we were on Royal Princess, they were pretty slick at allowing you to connect and disconnect. You basically just hijacked it from one machine to another. I'd be on it, and then Allison would say, I need to get on. I said, good, take it. One thing to keep in mind is if it does allow one connection at a time, here's a trick that we did. Allison had to do some travel agent work, but she needed to be on the phone at the same time, and she wanted to do Wi-Fi calling. Ring Central has a desktop app. We downloaded that and installed it on her laptop. So then she's browsing, and at the same time, the phone connection is going through the same Wi-Fi connection on the laptop. And she had her AirPods plugged in, so it allowed for a more private conversation, but it was able to work and do the browsing and the calling at the same time. And so if you are using a Wi-Fi app, if you happen to bring your laptop and you want to do some browsing or need to do some browsing or some work, and you need to make a phone call at the same time, that is possible. Starlink definitely allowed that. So whether other connections will or will not, hard to say, probably not, but Starlink does. The other thing we've done is that when we're close enough, when we're in port, I will put my phone where we'll use it as a hotspot. So it's using the onshore cellular, and then we'll use the other phone for the phone call. Jeffrey says, the problem I have on the ship is that the ship firewall blocks ports that I need. It works at home, but not on the ship due to the different security setting on the ship. Yes. So these are not ports that we are used to when it comes to cruising. These are firewall ports. So those of us that deal with this stuff all the time, Jeffrey, we all know about these kinds of ports. A firewall, if it's to be thought of, is your protection. It is a box that sits there, and it only allows certain pieces of information to go through. You can have thousands of ports open on a router slash firewall. But the best firewalls start with everything blocked, and then the ports that are necessary are the ones that are opened. I'm trying to do this without getting to be too techy, but I want to help you all understand how this is done and why this is done. So again, we've talked about how that data goes back and forth, and it's all there. I have an application that I took a week-long course that allowed me to record all the data going through. Now that's great when you're sitting there trying to troubleshoot. Why is my computer so slow? Well, it's because Microsoft is sitting there in the background trying to upload all of its updates at the same time that you're trying to talk on the phone or browse your Gmail. And so what you do is you say, well, please don't update while I'm doing this. And so that's what this program does. It allows me to look at what's being used and what can I shut off that is taking up this connection, so I don't have to deal with it right now, and I can take care of this when I get home. So it's the same thing with these little ports. They're all just a bunch of little virtual holes that allow, like this web page that we're looking at right here, it's using port number 80. If you use remote desktop, I think it's port 239. I don't remember. That's why I hire people now to remember this stuff for me. But there are all these different holes that you need to go through. And so that's why, as Jeffrey points out, the ship will block some ports because they need to use that internet connection for some of their navigational equipment. And so if you're trying to download a video or watch a video on YouTube, thank you for watching, by the way, they may block that or they may throttle it. Okay, that's a little bit different. If you notice when you're on Royal or a lot of the different carriers, a lot of the different cruise lines, they will give you the ability to have high-speed internet or low-speed internet. And what they're doing is they're throttling it. And they're saying, okay, this person here can only go this fast, but this one over here, they can go a lot faster. And so you pay them $20 extra, they're going to let you in the bigger pipe. Okay, so you get the little pipe or the big pipe, and so you're in the bigger pipe, and all of a sudden now you can download the other stuff. So so as Jeffrey points out, and I pointed out in the video, some things just will not work. Some VPNs absolutely will not work, partly because they can't be liable if you are on a ship and you're trying to say, because a VPN can help you, I wouldn't say it doesn't falsify where you're at, but it will use a connection through a different country in order to allow you to do things. Well, they don't want to be liable for those kinds of issues, and so it's best that they block some of those parts. So wish I could stay with their stuff. I really have. Okay, thanks for coming. Sorry. And D. Adams answered the question for Tom. So Kathy, happy to see you. Piper, hello. Thank you for being here. And Kathy, San Francisco Love Boat Cruising. Were you able to upload videos with Princess Net? Yes. Slowly, very slowly. The last time that we were on Princess was on the Love Boat. I wasn't there. Allison was. And she had her laptop. And so in order for some of those videos to happen, I would use Chrome Remote Desktop, and I would log to her computer from my computer. So she would upload a video, no, I'm sorry, not upload. She would record a video, be it on her phone or on a camera. And if it's on the iPhone, putting it onto a Mac, you can use Apple, the little thing that Apple has that will quickly copy it from one device to another. Or if it was on a phone, it was on the camera, we'd have an SD card and she would plug that into the laptop. And so one night she plugged in the SD card into the laptop and it showed up on the desktop. I then remoted in. I was on the phone with her. No, we couldn't talk. We could type messages. And so I remoted in, and I would then start to edit that video. And it would be click, wait, click, wait, click. So yes, it was slow, but I was able to do some stuff. And in order to make it even faster for me, I would just remotely drop that video to our shared cloud storage. And I think I was using Google Drive for that one specifically. A 10 to 15 minute video could take 2 to 4 hours to upload. So not the best, not the fastest, but it worked. Once that video was then uploaded to the Google Drive, I could download it in a minute or two, and then I could edit it all we wanted and then upload it to YouTube from there. So that was one method that we used. Another one was when I tried to edit it on her computer, and like I said, it was click and wait and click and wait. And that worked a couple of times until it didn't. And so that was why it was easier for me just to upload it. So yes, it can take hours for that to upload. In fact, a lot of times when I'm with her and we're trying to upload and it wasn't Starlink, I would edit it sitting right there on the laptop. And I would, so the resolution, you may hear a lot about resolution of, these nice new computers, these nice new huge monitors, your new TV, they're all 4K and just gorgeous. I don't have a 4K monitor. Yes, you can put 4K on YouTube. Those are large files. Normally the everyday cruise news that we do from home takes about 20 to 30 minutes to upload. And I run it at 720p, which is not high resolution. It is just a very standard resolution. Your older TVs are at 1020p. So they're a little bit better. That would be considered high definition. And of course, 4K is super high definition, but standard definition, SD, is what the 720 is. When COVID first hit, YouTube announced that they would only allow 720p for a while because all of a sudden, everybody's at home, everybody's watching YouTube, and it was a lot of data to transfer. It needed a high bandwidth. And so YouTube took the step to limit it, to throttle it down to 720p. Well, that's your standard definition, and it's good. What you're seeing with me right now is 720p. It doesn't seem to be pixelated. I can move back and forth, and you can see me moving back and forth. And so it's a good connection. And that's, especially for news, that's all that's necessary. When we do our other videos, our vlogs and stuff, and I have time, I will do those at a higher resolution, be it HD, which is 1020p. I don't think I've done anything at 4K. But when you upload those, I'm not doing it to get them out for you right now. I know it's going to be for another day or two. And so I've got a couple hours to let it upload. So When I'm doing them from on the ship, I crank them down to 640p, so it's even less. So sometimes that's why you see that our videos from on board don't look the best, but we want to make sure that we get the information out there for you. Tom, so you got back yesterday. I posted it on Facebook, a video of myself and our cruise director. Okay, I'll look for that. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Hope I'm going through and answering stuff. Dealing with horrible customer service with Princess right now. SMH straight up lied to over the phone by a Princess rep. Oh, almost ready to cancel and go with Holland. Any tips? If you can get a different customer rep, if you can get, it's just sometimes those reps, they don't know what they're doing. I had to do something with Comcast today, and I had to do some. I was spent an hour with them last week. I had to help somebody install a new phone system last week. And last week I got on and the chat, nobody knew what they were talking about. Today I got on the chat and it was done in 2 minutes. And he knew exactly what he was doing. At least he said he was by the name. But so I think it's a matter of getting the right person. So balls and strikes, pythons, maybe try someone else. Try a different, call in again or chat and see if that might help. I'm sorry that you're going through that. That's never any fun. So Sue Cox, hi. Thank you. We love to do the videos. How was the internet on the Antarctic cruise? Non-existent. Really. We had good coverage in South America as we left Buenos Aires and going through Uruguay. That was fine, and even down as we got down towards the Falklands. But as we left the Falklands and as we got beyond the Cape and on into the Drake Passage, non-existent. There is, as far as I could tell, there are no satellites down there. I mean, I'm sure there's some for the people who need a connection, for the scientists and so on, but for ships, cruise ships especially, wasn't there. We actually enjoyed it. We had 4 to 5 days with nothing, and we didn't miss it. It was nice. We got back up to the Cape, and it was sketchy at best. But as we got into Ushuaia and Point Arenas in Chile, then it came back. And of course, by then we also had our onshore cellular at those places. And it was fine. So it worked out for us, but do not expect internet, at least that's the way it was 3 years ago. Whether that's been taken care of or not, I don't know. Question, should I use a VPN, and do you have a favorite or one to avoid? So I have not used commercial VPNs. I have one at work, and that's the one I use. I set it up. I know its ins and outs. I know how to get around some different security issues that I have, and I apologize. I don't have a better answer. Here's what I would say. Should you use a VPN? Not necessary for standard email. Email is all textual based. If anybody wants to see what you're saying in an email, it's textual based. It is not encrypted. Yes, the connection may be encrypted, but people can read your email. Be careful what you say. Be careful what's there. Google reads your email. Yahoo reads your email. They don't have people sit there and read it. They have computers that analyze it. Hence, that's why you get customized advertising. So that's what you agreed to use their free email service. If you're just using it for email, if you're just using it to browse what are the latest news, what's this, you know, what's going to happen in the next port I'm coming to, what's the weather going to be, not necessary. If you are trying to do some confidential computing, be it for work, be it for yourself, a VPN would be a good choice. We have someone we know who they were trying to do some record keeping for their business, and the business said, "Oh, you cannot do that out of the country." Hence, they went ahead and got a VPN connection account. Then on the ship, the ship says, "Oh, we don't allow VPN connections of that." I don't know. I don't think it was I don't think it was the Shark VPN. I don't know which one it was, but it says we don't allow VPNs. So that was not working at all. So then, because I knew what they were trying to do, I said, "Well, here's Google Chrome. Google Chrome Remote Desktop is not a VPN. It is a remote desktop connection. If you have a computer at home that you can set up, like I talked about with TeamViewer, and that can be free for an individual. Real VNC can also be free for an individual. Chrome Remote Desktop is free. You set up one computer at home and you have it on your laptop. You can even have it on your phone. I have Chrome Remote Desktop on my phone. And you can then, if you need to do something confidential, and in fact, I have had to do banking while I'm abroad, I remote into my home computer. I use my home computer to do the logging in, because then I don't have to re-authenticate, because it knows who my home computer is, because so many of these are using now two-factor authentication. But if you're remoting to your home computer and you've done the two-factor authentication where you've logged in, you put in your password, it sends you a text to your phone, you click, here's my special code, you click and you put that in, then your computer at home remembers that, and you can do your two-factor authentication is already authenticated. And so that's what I recommend, is if you can do it where you can remote into your home computer from a remote location, that is more secure in my mind than a VPN. And a VPN may be blocked, whereas a remote connection usually is not blocked. Hope that answers that question. Okay. Hi, Janet. Thank you for coming. Balls and Strike Pie. Yes. Princess customer service is terrible to deal with right now. Yes. Helene, Seth. Hi, Gordon. Thank you. Okay, that's, oh, wow. 7:54. I've gone on and on, haven't I? And I'm only down to 7:20 something. Did you see the warning about charging your phone via USB charger in airports? Better to use it to bring a plug USB combo to charge. If you've got the block that you plug into the power and then plug your phone into that, that is the most secure, because that's your block. It's not going to be taken off somebody else's data. If you look at what's at the airport, you look down the seat and there's just a couple of plugs. Usually you're safe, but yeah, it's better to be even more safe, because you're going to be using your block anyway. Now, when you're traveling abroad, iPhone and most electronics, Samsung phones, iPads, laptops, those all usually do not require a converter. It will require an adapter, where normally we have two flat plugs, and in Europe it's two round plugs. you need that adapter, but you don't need a converter, that because in Europe, the voltage is coming in at 220 volts. And if you have a device that's made for the standard 110 volts of the US, you're going to fry it. Plain and simple. It's going to fry and you're done. But all of your equipment most of your new electronics will allow a 220 volt connection without any issue. And it will change it. A USB connector, a plug, I should have brought some of these, sorry. The little phone one, that's 5 amps. A block that I have is 40 amps. The standard Windows one, that's a white, bigger block, those are 20 amps. So they charge faster. But they all will allow up to 220 volts. We have some of this stuff. If you go to our website, sorry, I've got a hiccup on my computer here. If you go to our website, letsgotraveltips.com, I reworked it over the weekend a little bit, where I will show you. I'm going to share the screen. Yes. Chrome tab. Let's add another tab. Let's come in here. New tab. All right. So here I'm going to share this. And if we go to letsgotraveltips.com, and that's our website, here's something I'd like to point out. I'm still on the cheap here. Let's Go Travel Tips is hosted on my Google site. I don't pay for hosting. I pay to register it, $10 a year, but I don't pay for hosting. And so when you type in Let's Go Travel Tips, it ends up and it says, it's not highlighted. In the address bar, it will end up saying sites.google.com/Let's Go Travel Tips. Don't worry, that is by design. Let me get back here. I'm going to turn that off so you can see this a little bit better. So that is by design. So this is our newly updated website. I put in a link for group cruises, so you can go there and you can see what our group cruises are. Of course, this one coming up here on the Eurodam next month. If you go back up and click on the icon for Let's Go Travel Tips up in the top left corner, it brings you back. A click to our YouTube channel, a little bit about us. I guess I should put a picture of us. Our Facebook group. If you want to email us, click on that. It will bring up your email and go into there. We've got some Let's Go t-shirts and other merchandise. But this Amazon links, the shopping links, these are items that we have purchased and we continue to tell you about. This travel power strip right here, we love this. It has 3 standard ports for power outlets and then 3 USB ports. But this one, we bought this on the river cruise, and it has, I don't know if it's showing up here. I'll just click on it. It has the European prongs on it right here. And it has, okay, that didn't go over. Anyway, it has the European prongs. It has room for 1, 2, 3, 4 outlets. And then it has 2 standard USB and 1 USB-C. So there is a lot of power that can be done in just that one little block. Highly recommend it. That's what I wanted to show you. So back to the website. So that's where you're going to find this stuff that we've purchased. Yes, we do get a very small bit. If you order through that, we get a small commission. So let's stop sharing this. We'll come back here. And here I am. So thank you for that. But I would recommend that piece, all from that one question. Great tech help videos. We got a Bluetooth audio transmitter for use in the airplane audio jack for our next overseas flight. Great advice. Well, it's on our website. We did the same thing. We've not used it on an airplane yet. Did we use it on the last one? I don't remember, but yes, we got those, and yes, they work. They work beautifully. I've been trying it. I convinced work to get me one so I can use it. How difficult is an Insta360 to learn and use? So I love my Insta360 camera. The editing is what can be a little tricky at first, but the the basics are that you want to have, and maybe I should make a quick video about this, but you want to, as you're going through and you're doing your 360, you need to tell it, I want to point at this thing, and so you give it a key point, and that key point, then you go along, and another 2 minutes later you say, I want another key point, and it will stay at that one thing, and then all of a sudden it will turn a little bit for your new key point. So that is one of the basics that you'll want to learn. It does want to use its own editor. You have to use its own editor, really, because what happens is a 360 camera is actually two 192 or 207 degree cameras. So they cover like from here to here, and it does the same thing on the other side. There's two of them, and they're back to back, and it marries them as you're watching them. And so there is a point where you can kind of see a slight blur where it's trying to merge those two images. But it's fun, and you can see a couple of the videos that I've done. Jeffrey, thank you for joining us. I'll get through these, don't you worry. Okay. Use a bogus thing first. What is my opinion on the best spyware out now? I have WebRoot. So spyware is antivirus, anti-spyware, whatever you want to call it. We don't use anything. I have Microsoft Defender, which is Microsoft's default stuff. And I have used it for 10 years without incident. Okay, I am nobody. I have a computer that is connected to the internet, and I have a firewall that stops people from coming in who nefariously, but I'm nobody. However, I work at a place that was hit hard about 1.5 years ago, and somebody came in a back door somehow. Actually, they came in from a insecure website, and it was not good. And we spent, a team of us spent months cleaning up. We were attacked, but we were not hit with ransomware. But we did purchase a new antivirus spyware for the company, and we use it, and it is good and worth it. But for me at home, on my computer, I use Windows default Windows Defender. It will catch 90% of what you do. It's to me the same idea as I'm going to go to Walmart. I'm going to go to the grocery store. I'm going to go to the mall. I'm going to go to the airport. When I get there, am I going to leave the keys in the ignition? and leave the windows open and the doors unlocked? No. When I get there, I will make sure the windows are rolled up and I will have the key with me and I will lock the car. If I have things that are looking like they might want to take them, I will either not have them with me or I'll lock them in the trunk, though I have seen that sometimes in high crime areas, cars are being where the back window is smashed and they flip forward the back seat that looks into the trunk so they can see if there's anything worth looking for in the trunk. Bad people. But I do standard simple things, and because maybe somebody else at the mall didn't lock their car. And so if a nefarious person comes along, they will hit my door lock and it will be locked, but they'll hit 3 doors down. Oh, that one's unlocked, and they'll get in the car. So simple is good. Some stuff is better. My reasoning for not using spyware is it slows my computer down. It is constantly looking to say, oh, hey, are you bad? Are you bad? Are you bad? It sits there. Is this something I have to worry about? And that eats up processing power. And so I figured the Windows Defender is already doing it. I practice safe computing. I do not fall for phishing, phishing, where somebody says, ooh, click on me because I'm flashy. So the best spyware out there right now, there are so many. Again, I use Windows Defender on our Windows machines, which is the default with it. On the Apple machines, I feel that they are locked down enough by default that there's not an issue. And we will use whatever comes with the browsers and expect that to take care of us. And because we're not clicking on every little thing that pops up, we have not had issues. Hope that answers your question. That's on DuckDuckGo browser for privacy. I have never used DuckDuckGo. I've heard good things about it. My son uses, I don't remember what it's called. It starts with a V. It's a spin-off of the Opera browser. Opera is one of the mainstays that was out there to begin with. But it's a Vivaldi. That's what he uses, and he swears by it. I'm on a Mac right now. I am not using Safari. I am using Chrome. On my phone, I will use Safari. On my iPad, I use Safari. On my work computer, for personal stuff, I use Chrome. For work stuff, I use Mozilla. So those are the browsers that I use. And if you're looking for privacy, I can easily switch, like I said before, to that private window, and I feel very confident that it's going to work for me. Hope that answers your question. Yes. If you see somebody else who is logged on still, log them off. Be a kind soul. So, love OneNote for keeping a diary. Yes. And we've gotten to the point where, we'll be somewhere and if, we take a picture to make a copy of something. If I'm at a hotel and I want to remember about them, or if we're at a restaurant and I want to do a TripAdvisor or a Google review for them, I will take a picture of that place. I do have tracking turned on my Google Maps. If I go to my Google Maps login and I say, show me my timeline, you can see where I've been. Google knows where I've been. I'm okay with that. I don't go anywhere I shouldn't, and so that's okay. But it's my record of knowing where I've been. And so if I go somewhere, if we go to a nice restaurant and I want to do a review, but I don't feel I want to take the time right then, I will take pictures of it. And then later on, Google Maps will remind me, hey, you ate at this place. What did you think? And then I'll sit down and write a review and I'll add in some of the pictures. And so I've done quite a few Google reviews, and I enjoy doing it. Jeffrey's got a good thing of here. Think of ports like doors in a long corridor. Some may be locked and some may be unlocked. The firewall is what says which door is locked and which are unlocked. Thank you, Jeffrey. And I know you've gone to bed, but very, very, very good. So my house, the door I need to open the firewall has it unlocked. On the ship, their firewall has it locked and I can't get through. Very good. Perfect analogy. Yeah, if internet's on the ship is too slow, you may not want to pay for it. Not a problem. Sorry, I'm late. No, you're not late. I'm running late. That's a half hour ago that you said that. What are my thoughts on the Princess app? You seem to have a very bright mind. I'm curious to know your experience, not trying to be controversial. On the Princess app, it is better. It is better than it was. How about that? That's not controversial. I'm glad they did away with the Sea View doohickey. We've not used it much since then. Again, the last time we were on a ship together, on a Princess ship together, was a year ago when we were in the Mediterranean. And it, for logging in, was good. For ordering stuff, it was good when they could deliver quickly. Some other stuff was great. The medallion itself, wonderful. Don't have to worry about the key card. The medallion app could be better. We've used Royals, we've used Celebrity, which I liked better than the Princess Medallion app or the Princess app. NCL seemed to be kind of half and half. So it is better than it was. Our next Princess cruise is the group cruise in October. Ask me after that. We will be on the Holland America. So I'll have an analysis on that one. Yes, very much so. Wide range of experience, Princess. Yes. Okay. Thanks for all. I didn't know about the OneNote. I downloaded the app. It only works with internet, and if I can't connect, can I print it? If so, how do you delete a blank page? Thanks. So yes, it doesn't only have to work with the internet. It will have a local copy on your phone if you download it on the Macintosh, or if you have Windows. If you have a Windows computer, you can download the free app, and then you're not having to log in using the browser, but you actually have the app. Your data is on Microsoft's website, but it is also synchronized and copied to your local computer. And so that way, when you are offline and when you are on your phone and you are offline, your data, the data that it was there is still there. The next time you have a connection, it will synchronize. Sometimes it will make two copies of it and ask you to determine which one is the better one. Usually it's gotten better. And so it will know that, oh, he was on his phone here. He hadn't touched it over here on the desktop. So that means that this is the right one, and it will put in the right stuff. And then, as I talked about printing, use the print preview function, and then you can see where the pages might be blank, and then let it go. If there is a blank page that's been copied up, right mouse click on it, and there should be a way to delete that. Hopefully that helps. On the Celebrity, one guy told me they did not have a reciprocity program with Royal Caribbean. I asked to speak to a manager, and she had it fixed in 5 minutes. Interesting. I think you mean talking about, I don't know. VPN, we use McAfee Safe Connect as it's included as part of the service. Good to know. Nerdy cruise show. Thanks. Retired T1 programmer. Ooh. Okay. It was so, all right, quick story, quick sideline. I have worked at where I work for 15 years. The man that I worked for, the manager, he was there 30 years. He had been doing exactly that department for 25. And when it came time to retire, yeah, it was time for him to retire. I applied for and I got his position. It was funny because he was saying, well, they didn't ask him to be on the interview committee. And I said, well, okay, what would be your questions? And he was asking the most off the wall questions that had nothing to do with what the current job is. He was going down memory lane. And I love the man. Like I said, I've worked with him for 15 years and it was just wonderful. But I just got a big kick out of how he wanted to be down memory lane for what he was hiring for. And I said, no, we need to look forward. So it worked out anyway. Crown Princess, good. Got a couple other people on Crown Princess. VPN remote. Love boat crew. Love my nerdy friend. I bug them all the time. Yeah, ask away. If you have more questions, and we're not gonna, I'm gonna go through here and talk and go down the entire list here. But if you think about something, don't hesitate to ask. If I don't know it, I will try to say I don't know it. I'll try to make sure that I respond in some way or another. If it's something that I might be able to find out, I will Google it. When we hire part-time employees, that's one of the questions I have. What happens if you don't know something? He said, oh, I'll Google it. And that's great because they're not going to look at the first answer. They will research it. So anyway. I should put Jeffrey's cruise website link up there. Okay. Bedtime for Jeffrey. Good night, Jeffrey. That was 20 minutes ago. Antivirus slows everything down. I went to Defender 6 years ago. Tom, thank you. Same thing. It works. We made the move 10 years ago at work on our computers, and this is our department, not the department that had the issue. Our department, we have not had an issue. Now I have seen kids come in. Again, I work at a university in the engineering department. We have had, and that includes the IT department. So you have kids that they want to check stuff out. We had one that came in and he put a keyboard logger on. A keyboard logger is like a USB device, but it captures keystrokes. Bad. So he was capturing, because you can catch people's passwords that way. He never came back to get it because we yanked it out and destroyed it. So, yeah. Allison selected to have some knowledge about all this tech stuff for her job with all the videos would be mind-boggling. Thanks for all the tips and info. She's the pretty face and I'm the nerd. So it works out for us. Thank you. There you go. Christy loves DuckDuckGo. And if you love it, great. I'm happy for that. Try them out. Nothing's going to hurt you if you don't. 70 watching now, 77 likes. So, okay. See, Allison draws them in. I'm just here to fill it in. Anthony, thank you. Oh, last question. Do you prefer we email the Princess Patterns to you or post them ourselves on the Facebook page album? You can do what you like. If you want to put them, to email them, I will put them on the website. If you want to add them to the Facebook page album, it might get done faster. I had somebody send me something a month ago, and I think I got those up 2 days ago. I have somebody else, thank you very much, who sent some other ship log patter type things. They're still sitting on my desk, and I hope to scan those. Maybe I'll get a minute tomorrow. If I don't get it tomorrow, I won't be back in the office for a week, and that's where I left them. And my work scanner is much more accessible than my home scanner, and so if you put them on the Facebook page, everybody gets to see them immediately. If you want them in both places, because on the Facebook we have 4,000 people. On YouTube we have 16,000 subscribers, and so they may be more likely to get there. So whatever you'd like. I have gone through all the questions, I think. Thank you, Carly. Thank you, Ontario Girl. I appreciate everybody's pitching in and helping. I definitely appreciate everybody's opinion, because that's how we all get there. We all have our favorites. We all have our things that we've used, our tried and true methods. If you have any other questions, please feel free to email. Feel free to just do Facebook. I watch the Facebook religiously. Allison watches the email. Well, and I do the email. She watches the Facebook. She doesn't watch it as much. She does the email and the comments more than I do. So that's kind of how we divide and conquer. So do I think it's important to have a VPN on your cruise for protection? I don't. Well, again, a VPN can be blocked on the cruise. So rather than the VPN, if you look at my video from Saturday, today, rather than a VPN, I recommend a remote connection to your home computer. To me, that's more secure because then your computing is done from your home computer, and whatever is being looked at between your home computer and where you're at on your laptop or what have you, it's like a VPN, but it's to your home computer. And to me, that's more secure. Again, you have your two-factor authentication, which has happened where try it out. I would recommend try. And again, test all this stuff before you have to be somewhere. If you go to work, or if you want to test it, go down to the public library if you don't work anymore, or if you're retired but you have kids in the area, go to their house, and they'll help you set it up too. Set up Real VNC, set up TeamViewer, set up LogMeIn, set up some of these other ones. Some of them are pay. Chrome Remote Desktop is free. Set it up, try it, and test it out before you do it. Okay, just again, that's the biggest thing I can say is test it before you have to use it, because then you're not sitting there trying to scramble. Anything techie, you're always going to be scrambling on something. You're always going to be sideswiped, and that's the same thing with anything cruising or anything. You plan and you plan and you plan. You worry about how you're going to get from the airport to the hotel and from the hotel to the ship, and you plan it and you look at your alternatives. And when you get there and you are planning to use public transportation and there's a strike, that's okay. You're not caught off guard. You grab a taxi and you know that, okay, maybe I got to pay twice as much on this taxi, but I built in that extra hour because I planned ahead. Same thing with technology. Test it out ahead of time. try it here, try it there. And if you say, yeah, Google Voice is working good, but I could also try to use a different one. I could use wireless on the phone itself, have 2 or 3 methods, so that all of a sudden when you get somewhere and it says, oh, in order to use this cellular connection on your international plan, it is $1.50 each, but here's free Wi-Fi. You can do that. And you've already tested it out and you've already gone through it. So plan, plan, plan. Okay. Yes, have a backup plan. All right. What's on? Missed some of the things you were talking about, Chica. Okay, this will all be back there. Yes, YouTube will put this up. It will be available immediately. The transcript on these lives, as I've been watching these, they usually take overnight to transcribe. And so every word I've said will be transcribed. So tomorrow, if you're like, oh, at one point he talked about VPNs, or I talked about DuckDuckGo, or I talked about Defender, if you pull up the transcription, and that's when you're if you're on a computer, okay, I don't know specifically on a different device, but if you're on a computer, there will be 3 little dots right down over here. Let me move this away. Okay, so right down over here, you're going to find 3 little dots. You click on that, and it will say transcription available. And that's going to show up right down this side over here where the chat is. Okay, you see all these nice people that have talked to us, but if you want to check the transcription, at the very top over there, just outside there, there will be or you can do a find, Control F, and it will search that page. And where Defender has been brought up, or where some other word has been brought up that I talked about, OneNote, search on that, and it will show up in the transcription. It will highlight them as you go through, and you can find where we talked about it. And it will jump to that point, and there you can pick up the conversation. Okay, so a little bit more about how YouTube works. The transcription will be available overnight. And if you want to use, click right here, the double CC for closed captioning. That comes along about the same time as the transcription. So closed captioning will not be available until sometime tomorrow. But you'll be able to see that and do that. And then you can hear everything that I slurred and be able to read it when I'm not saying it clearly. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I miss my sweetheart. She is having a wonderful time playing grandma, and I will join her on Wednesday night, or Wednesday sometime. I'm going to fly down and join her and play grandpa. And we get to, I get to lay on the floor and have little girls crawl all over me. They are so fun. So that's what we get to do. So no live on Friday night. I think we'll drive home this weekend. So right now the plan is to have our live next Monday. And if that changes, if we decide to drive back on Monday, we will notify on Facebook and on the YouTube community tab that we are not here, and we'll go from there. So thank you so much for being here. We love you all. Thank you for your support. This just makes it so fun. We will go enjoy the grandbabies and have a good time. And we will tell them that you all said hi. So you all take good care. You have a good night. I didn't say it in the proper order, but God bless you and take care of each other. And we'll see you again soon. Have a good night. Bye-bye.